My name is Mark Bradford, and I'm an abstract painter. Being an abstract painter, I am fascinated by that 1950s moment in New York when abstract expressionism began. Clifford still pushes back against intimacy. Like, it's big, it's not easel painting that was containable and something you snuggle up around and get cozy. When I see a mark that's being repeated almost obsessively, I always ask myself, what is he trying to get to? There's a conversation that he's having with that surface and with himself and probably art history and his peers. He's leaving little markers, guideposts for us. And as an abstract painter, I do the same thing. I leave bits of the conversation. The canvas itself almost becomes a color, like a pigment. It doesn't feel as if it's just a background. There's an agitation at the edges, and it feels almost as if the whole surface was torn away. You could tell that it was palette knife, and he labored. I'm amazed at how he's able to control the temperature emotionally. It doesn't look like madness. He ground all of his own pigments, determining the vibrancy and the hue and the texture. He was able to take a color that's kind of loaded and hot like a red, reduce it down. What I find fascinating is specifically his use of blacks. Black was his favorite color in the 50s. I mean, he is like, I'm a 1950s white male, and black is not terrifying, it's not threatening, and I'm going to use it constantly in large areas of work, and I'm going to talk about the color. You don't know if he was being political. But at the same time, modernism was going on. The civil rights movement was going on. My God, it was around the same time as Emmett Till. I mean, how can you separate that from the baggage? Is it inherently abstract? Maybe not. It goes back to the artist's intent, and Clifford still imposed a lot of rules on where and how his work was to be displayed. It couldn't travel and it couldn't be loaned. He is like the ultimate stage mother. He is controlling it even from the grave. I suppose I'm the opposite of that. I would be the mother that once a child leaves the house, it's like, good luck and God be with you. You gotta let a kid go. It's just part of life. The artist taking responsibility and control over his own destiny is something that I really respect. But you know that there's always going to be slippage. As a 21st century, 2015 African-American artist, when I look back at abstract expressionism, I get the politics, I get the problems, I get the theories, I can read his manifestos, but I think that there's other ways of looking through abstraction. To use the whole social fabric of our society as a point of departure for abstraction reanimates it, dusts it off. Oh, it becomes really interesting to me and supercharged. I just find that chilling and amazing. I noticed that my art practice is very detail, labor intensive. And I think that that's a way of slowing myself down so that I can hear myself think. So I can hear the voices a little bit more quiet. So I can hear maybe the decision that might come through that's a little less large. That quieter voice has sometimes the more interesting idea, if I can get to it.
What if I put that over there?
My practice is both decollage and collage at the same time.
Look at that bit there. How would that look?
With decollage, I take it away, and then collage, I immediately add it right back.
Sometimes you have to not put stuff on top. You gotta retrieve something that's under the bottom.
There's that S. I saved it.
You sure the color's right? Okay.
The line of my making or my art practice goes back to my childhood, but it's not an art background, it's a making background.
That's good. me making the sign of the prices in my mother's hair salon. I was in charge of that. So I would do calligraphy. I learned how to teach. I taught myself calligraphy so I could make them very, very fancy on the wall. So this hand, the hand was very early in my work. Signage, text. At Cal Arts, what I did discover was bodies of ideas. I never knew what the postmodern condition was. I never heard of it. I never knew about Foucault and Bell Hooks and Cornel West. I never read those type of writings, but I lived with people who were living those type of lives. So I remember coming home and telling my mother, oh, you know, you're postmodern. She said, oh, that's sweet.